My name is Lecturer Kilaji, Bishop Kenya Michael Loltome speaking in Nairobi National Government, Embakasi East Constituency this afternoon. Today is actually the end of this month called July 31st, Thursday, 2025, the year of our Lord. Political preacher looking forward to be Kenya president come September 13, 2027 elections. That is actually the precise date, which is about 774 days remaining for us to have that kind of a general election in Kenya. 774 days remaining. If we are to go as per months, then it means it is about 25 months and 8 days remaining, which is 2 years and 1 month and 8 days. I just want to say also, I'm aspiring as president of that time, which of course around the corner, not very far. And then I have also the Tumaini Liberation Party, that is our party, leaders who are going to help me. One of them is retired United States of Kenya Republic President of 2007 and 2020, Kenya Defense Forces Brigadier Honorable Nixon Kukubao Jeremiah. He is from Bungoma, and I was deputizing him also 2022 election, last election, but this time now we have changed actually the guard of honor to be actually my vice president or deputy president in the coming general election of 2027 election. I also have Prime Minister, which is also going to help us, United States of America President, who have ruled America successfully about 8 years. Honorable Dr. Barack Hussein Obama is going to be with us. No objection. I also have two powerful, ladies, first ladies, who are going to help me like King Joash of Judah at one time in the Bible, after being chosen 2 wives by Prophet Jehoiada of Israel that time, for him to marry 2 wives. The Bible allow in 2 Chronicles chapter 24 verse 1 to 4, and many other kings also who are God-fearing like David and others had many wives. So I'm going to have 2 powerful women, because politics need women who are so powerful, energetic, and educated. One of them is incumbent head of state, His Excellency, incumbent head of state, Sir Dr. William Samuel Ruto, Honorable His Excellency, Dr. William Samuel Ruto, youngest daughter, Honorable Miss Charlene Ruto is going to be one of my first ladies. Another one is also Supreme People's Power President, His Excellency Sir Dr. Raila Amolo Odinga, youngest daughter, East Africa Legislative Assembly Member of Parliament currently. Honorable Miss also, Imgad Winnie Raila Amolo Odinga. That is actually the government in place, which is in a shadow form, but it's going to be a reality very soon. And then learn us from the Facebook, YouTube, Instagrams, and Facebook. Our government is there. I just want to share with you, one time King of Israel, Northern Kingdom called King Saul, decided to kill a priest of Nob. Why did he kill the priest? We are told in 1 Samuel chapter 22, verse 22 and 16 and the following. He was actually trying to side with some kind of a mutiny or military coup, and he was actually wanted to be also kill himself. So if we read actually 1 Samuel chapter 22, verse 16 and the following, we are told, but the king said, that is Saul, you will surely die, Ahimelech, you and your father's whole family. Then the king ordered the guard of his side, turn and kill the priest of the Lord because they are too have sided with David. They knew he was fleeing, yet they did not tell me. You know, David was actually, a rival of this king called Saul. Although he was also married to Saul's daughter, Michal, but King Saul and also had a friend of the king called Jonathan. But the king used to actually planning to kill him on several occasions, but he himself was not willing to do so. That's why now the king is telling actually people, okay, to strike the priest in this verse 17 also, and other officials, because they are siding with David. So that was a kind of one of the reported mutiny, or actually military coup. The king was actually trying to, to protect his kingdom, but did not manage to kill them because God was actually with David. He was not actually, he was just known by his prominence. He was so prominent man, having also killed Palestinian brave soldier called Goliath. So his actually prominence and prestige and fame grew more than the king. That's why now also some priests, like the priest of Nob, N-O-B, alright, which is also the king wanted to be killed here, I have mentioned, and others, simply because they have been actually, laughing David because of his braveness and integrity. I'm reading from New International Version Bible, Sunderland Publishing House, Grand Rapids, Michigan, United States of America, Bible, but it's the Word of God. It is a book from the Bible from America, which is published by Sunderland Publishing House, Grand Rapids, Michigan, United States of America. All right. New International Version, Sunderland Publishing House, Grand Rapids, Michigan, which is actually give us the Word of God that give us wisdom, and from God's mouth come knowledge and understanding, in Proverbs chapter 2 verse 6. So know that I'm reading the New International Version Bible, if you are having one. I'm also a graduate of Capsa Bible College, 4 years, trainee, Nandi County Government, 1996 to 2000. And then I also went further studies also of the 4 years to Vision International University of Ramona, California, an affiliate campus here in Limoro of USA. And I completed also studies there about 3 years. I studied also Islamic studies, distance learners, for many years. So I've learned theology slightly more than 10 years, and I'm still learning. I've also taught, paramilitary general service unit, Islamic theology and Christian theology, practical theology, exegetical theology, historical theology, and also systematic theology here at Nairobi Utaola College for 12 years as a civilian spiritual affairs instructor who actually was interested to help the Kenya government and also the soldiers, which are paramilitary general service unit equivalent force to Kenya Defense Forces, want also to learn about Islamic and Christian theology equally, but now they have their own priest. 2004 to 2016, 12 years as a civilian free, lens preacher, political preacher in that case. So today we are seeing online on YouTube and other channels that Kenya has also experienced a kind of a coup. There is a kind of a coup which I want the Kenyan to know, because it is actually in public domain, not me saying, of an ex-military, which is of course was arrested yesterday in Kenya for planning a very terrible coup, likened to 1971 coup and 1982. The name of the soldier and his friends is called actually Mr. Nyaboke Osoi. Alright? He is one of the persons which is actually implicated and is now in custody for planning with the other, friends, particularly from Ngema, Gikuyu Embu and and Gikuyu Embu Meru and Kamba Bantu ethnic group. That is the soldiers we think of are being most likely funded by the Sabasaba opposition leaders, which actually has rocked the country into a great loss on June 25th last year and June 25th this year. I don't have to mention them because you know them. They are Bantus, about 7 leaders. So we are told actually that most of them have fled to America, probably to seek funding. So we are told actually that the coup is on. We don't know how many soldiers are implicated. We have quite a number of them which I mentioned. They are all Bantus. Another one Kimani, another one Shakur, but it's also Kimani still, and others. So that kind of a coup is actually on. I want the Kenyan to be aware of that. And not me saying it, it is in public domain. What is a military coup? A military coup is a diktat, which is a sudden and illegal seizure of political power carried out by a faction of militaries in various countries, often to overthrow an existing government on allied nations. So far we have about 7 countries in Africa which have been overthrown by militaries: Burkina Faso, Senegal, and others. They have been overthrown. Actually, there are about 7, which of course they have been overthrown by militaries. So this year of 2025, it is actually a year of many countries which have experienced a kind of a military coup. Different countries in Africa, about 7 of them. And now Kenya wants to become again number 8, God forbid. We are told actually that coup is actually has been on, because now we have people who are inside actually custody. Like that gentleman now we are told actually, alright, he's actually called actually Nyaboke. I don't know whether Nyaboke is an Kisi, and then Kimani is a Kikuyu, and others also. But generally, the few soldiers mentioned have been annexed militaries, alright, which are implicated to want to overthrow the incumbent head of state, Dr. His Excellency's William Samoei Ruto government. So it is in a public domain. I don't have to say more, because you can go to YouTube and you will get it. It is called Patrick Nyamboka Osoi of Kawa Law Court yesterday, which of course is now investigated for terrorism-related activities. And the reporter of, we got this message on YouTube and others, was reported also by Lucy Wanjiru, Nation, and Nyaboka Kiage, correspondent. So I just wanted the Kenyan to know this actually article, that the first Kenya Republic coup was actually witnessed in 1971 under the rule of the former late Jomo Kenyatta reign. A high-ranking officials of military and also others like Chief Justice Mwenda and Defense Chief Col Ndolo have been implicated. Another coup also was in 1982. We have also some other primarily triggered the dissatisfaction with the Kenya Force. And we are told there was a dissatisfaction of the Air Force. Like it was led by, Okumo and others, to Anochuka to overthrow the government of Daniel Arap Moi. So in 1982, aborted coup, both of them. This one also seemed to have been aborted because now the leaders who have been planning to overthrow even Ruto's government this year are also now in custody. So actually, when you hear about military coups, It is actually happening normally for lack of legitimacy government. They normally claim that the government are corrupt, ineffective, and they want to create a vacuum of power in a way of making, military to fill that kind of a vacuum. And that's why we have, 7 countries and 8 now, because this one is also an attempted one, which of course in Africa to have been actually 7 successfully happened, but now this one of Kenya has failed. Anyway, we have actually the countries which have been actually toppled 2025, the year of our Lord. We have one of them called actually Liberia, Sierra Leone, Liberia. We have number 3, Gabon. We have number 4, also, Madagascar. We have also number 5. All right, number 5 also, we have Burkina Faso. We have also, which is now an interim kind of a president called Ibrahim Traoré. And then number 6 is Senegal. We have also actually in a military coup. And then number 7 also, there's another number 7 also. Anyway, those are 6 I've listed about that one. So Mauritania number 7, and Kenya now again attempted coup number 8. So it is also for you to know that this kind of coups are driven by ambitions of some military leaders who seek to seize power, all right, in a kind of complexity events, and with actually a combination of political, economic, social, and external factors that creates a kind of a very terrible environment of wars in the intervention of overthrowing the president. It is not a good thing for you to overthrow the president. God wants all government, whether good or bad, because God can use also bad leaders, to seize power, to discipline wayward people, in Romans chapter 13, verse 1 to 7. So we are now having a kind of a political instability and weak government in Kenya, because now the soldiers are also divided. There's no other force above actually Kenya Defense Forces, Army of Kenya Republic in Kenya, and also accompanied by paramilitary general service unit, among other forces. So now the country is under political instability. All the parties are splitting, including the ruling table government, United Democratic Alliance. Another faction, a big one, also called ODM, or the Orange Democratic Movement Party, is also splitting. Another one, also Wiper Democratic, Movement Party, they are not together, among other parties. So actually, we are having what we call actually a military kind of coup attempting to, to seize power in a kind of illegal menace, which will not allow actually all of us Kenyans who are lovers of peace and, unity of purpose, and also love for humanity. We want to destroy the country in a political instability, to create a weak governance and lack of legitimacy, for a government to become illegitimate by corrupt kind of ineffective kind of a vacuum created before 774 days remaining for us to have a general election in Kenya. We don't want to plug the country. We don't want to plug the country into civil war. We are having 53.3 million Kenyans of about 45 tribes and other races living in Kenya. If we are to fight a kind of internal conflict, all right, which is of course now is going to be, initiated by ruling elite class Kenyans, and we have tribes which are owning their own, federal state in the independence, No one will be in those kind of political factions states. You know, we have Kikuyu states, all right? They call them Mount Kenya. We have also Meru states. We have Somali state. We have Samburu state, inter-independent, called county government or federal state. We have Pokot state. We have Turkana state. We have Nandi state. We have Kipsik is in that case, Pokot, Kipsik is Bomet and Nandis. We have Kisumu, Luo state. We have Nyamira, Kisii states. All right? And we have Kambas states, Machakos and others. So we are to fight in a civil war. We will have 47 presidents. We will no longer now going to have governors. We will have 47 presidents. And we will not have also 29 consolidated kind of, consensus, 290 consensus. We'll have, we don't know how many each federal state will have. We will not have also 1,450 assembly members of parliament, because each of them will have its own parliament. So we don't actually do a kind of a widespread kind of war in demonstration form, all right, to create a power vacuum in the country when we have only 774 days remaining, which is actually 25 months, all right, and 8 weeks, no, 8 days, all right, yes, 20, if you divide 774 days period to September 13, 2027 general election, you will see if you divide by 30 roughly days, it is about 25 months and 8 days. So we don't such kind of a social unrest or public discontent which will affect our management systems spiritually, socially, economically, and also spiritually, socially, economically, and physically. Such a kind of social unrest will create a kind of inequality and corruption of debts. We will have many debts, and some of this county government, like Central of Kikuyus, Merus, and also the landlocked, all right, and Embus, and Kambas, all right, this they call them Ngemas, Ngikuyu, Embu, Meru, and Kambas. The federal state are engulfed within the system. They will have no access to live or to run away from them, from those county government of theirs, or federal state, or county government. In that case, they are all surrounded. So, and they are not also war tribes, war like tribe like Nalots and also Kushite. But those are not actually war like people. So such kind of misbehaviors will create a kind of ethnic and religious tensions, which of course will threaten the social stability in the country. And the military might feel compelled to intervene, thinking that they will actually succeed, but they will not, because they are also, this faction of this mentioned one, are just drawn from Bantu ethnic group, those soldiers. So to prevent such a kind of decent, not decent kind of war, civil war, it is for us all to know that external factors are also influencing our politics. That's why now we have some leaders of Bantus in America. And I just want to tell America President, His Excellency, Dr. Donald Trump, to shake on those leaders' movement there, because now they are attempting to create chaos, probably sponsoring these coups here in Kenya, which we don't like. I'm sorry to say this with all due respect, but it seems so. So we don't actually a kind of a military kind of a weakest kind of coups in Kenya, all right? We don't actually high ranking or mutiny kind of whatever, or politicians to be involved in this kind of mutiny, which is now reported in media houses, nations, YouTube, Facebook. All right. So 75% of rumors, it is true, and people are here now. Actually in court, in Milimani court. That's what they are saying. All right. So it's a true fact. Actually, we are not cheating. Actually, the people, 75% of rumors, with evidence, people are there, with their names there, with their photos there, with their names there, with their appearances, faces are there. It is not something that we can take it easily. It is just like Oshuka ambition, okay? The key figure of President Moi coup and also Oshuka, okay? And his friend also and others, because they are not the only two, which has been actually noted as the key coup attempters leaders that time. And they are all prosecuted. Private Zeki Oshuka was actually hanged. According to broadcaster of VOK that time, they have announced that they have been actually trying to overthrow the late President Daniel Ramwe government in a coup. But ultimately, it was unsuccessful like this one now. The oil forces quickly suppressed them, that kind of rebellious mutiny soldiers. And so Oshuka was hanged, together with his friend also, he was with him, Oshuka and others. They have been hanged actually. So we don't actually to go that kind of insignificant coup again this year, 2020 and 2025. 2025 in Kenya. We don't go, this is so is insignificant, which is initiated now by suspected ex-soldier Kenya Army of Kenya Defense Forces, Patrick Nyaboka, Osoi, and other Bantu ethnic background soldiers. They are calling their kind of coup, fighting brutality and impunity. That is not the way we fight brutality and impunity. In brutality and fighting impunity, you have to remove the president during ballot paper box, all right? During voting time, which is about 774 days remaining. You don't have to go and say FBI. And also this soldier was also reported to be a veteran kind of USA Army. I don't know whether it was a Navy, but it's in Kenya Army. This one called actually, Patrick Nyabaka Osoi. He was saying it's from, I don't know how far is that true, from Kisii. A presidential aspirant Matiang'i, tribe. We don't know how far is that true, but anyway, the name people are saying like that. We don't want people to violate actually the constitution which God has given us, 2010, to disregard or violate the constitution in a kind of illegal governance system to overthrow the government, or to undermine actually the trust of this government, United Democratic Alliance Party. Let them complete their government, whether it's good or bad, because we don't actually to create a kind of a pretext for military intervention coups, to call it a failed or flawed elections, kind of a governance now we are having. It is God has instituted there, whether they have also economic problems, or hardship problems, or high inflation problem of creating more poverty, or unemployment that lead to widespread discontent to people. Social unrest is not welcome in Kenya. As I speak now today, I, as a presidential aspirant, come 2027 election, Prophet Lecturer Clergy Bishop Kenya Michael Loltome, I am condemning that kind of a coup in the strongest term possible, and we don't wish it to happen. All right, we have also many tribes with guns, all right, like Pastoral is where I come from, areas. So if we are to fight, the Bantus are the losers. They don't have guns. So all these soldiers now who are actually wanting to seize power in a military factions, kind of a coup, they are from Bantus, and they don't have guns. And I'm sure not all soldiers, Kenya Army, are in this kind of attempting coup, kind of intervention, to establish a ruling government of military prototype, which is not welcome in Kenya. We don't want dictatorship military rule. Alright? Which is going to create sodomy, rabies people, killing people unnecessarily, using illegal power, which is not actually a good power, transitional kind of whatever. So we don't want people to military coups or factions to take control of Kenyan states. So those soldiers must be held accountable for whatever they have been attempting to do in a kind of illegal kind of coup, alright, to overthrow the government in a military coup of our president, His Excellency William Samuel Ruto government. It must be there until, alright, September 13, alright, 2027, on Monday, election. After that, it is God's will for us to see who will be another president. It could be me or others, because we have so many presidential aspirants. But we are not attempting to have small military coups like Patrick Nyamboga or Osoi, who is trying now to orchestrate a kind of a group of military mutiny to overthrow the government, which is God-oriented government, and is the president actually was duly elected, all right, and sworn in on September 13, 2022 election, and he has to leave the office likewise in that manner. Otherwise, may God bless human beings living in Kenya and beyond, and take care and report any suspicious person who is planning this kind of a coup for us to take action. The Bible allows people who are killing others to be killed in Deuteronomy 19 verse 13. You don't have to shed blood, shed to innocent Kenyans.